Hey True Believers, Englentine here with another batch of new comic book reviews. Trying to do a Marvel, a DC, and independent every time. Can't do it, but this time we did. Alright, we got all bases covered. A couple of DC as a matter of fact, so kick back, relax, and let's get this party started. And we're going to start this one off, unfortunately, with Harley Quinn number 75. So I kind of fell into this one. I'm reading the Joker War. I know this is a chapter of the Joker War, so I picked it up and found out that, wow, what a bait and switch. I haven't had something this bad since they sold this box set of Lobo graphic novels. And one of them, it said The Wit and Wisdom of Lobo, and you opened it and it was absolutely empty, just blank pages. Now, if I was smart, I would take this to conventions and get... Anyway, point being is they said this was a Joker War tie-in, and it ended up being like 3 pages towards the end of it. Otherwise, it's a birthday roast kind of book where they're telling stories and such going through. None of them good. It's, I don't know when Harley Quinn became DC's Deadpool, or actually another version of the ambush bug, but less funny, but that's how this comes off as. A whole bunch of people with lampshades on their head saying, hey, look at me, aren't I funny? And no, you're not. It's kind of pathetic, as a matter of fact. I'm trying to think, is there anything I laughed at? Because, man, they were going for it in such the cringiest way. And by the time you do get to the chapter of the Joker War, it's 3 pages. She's sewing up her neck. This was so long ago compared to what's actually happening in the Joker War, and that's one of my problems with the storyline, is that there's no continuity. There's no plan to the books themselves. And this is just perpetuating that. It's amazing to me, the lack of focus in the storyline. The issue itself right here, since I am talking about Harley 75, if you've been a Harley Quinn fan for the last 10 years, this is just more of the same. For a little bit, I read this book and there was a narrative, there was a story, and it actually turned out to be something. Unfortunately, this is more of the, hey, look, I mean, at one point they're yelling, oh, get your butt nuggets, get your butt nuggets. It's embarrassing. That's what it's come down to. Harley Quinn has just become an embarrassment. Ant-Man number 5. Now, this one's a little bit odd to review, and I understand that. But I did want to talk about it because I've been putting Marvel down a lot recently. Mostly by saying I usually do a top 10 DC and top 10 Marvel every 6 months. These are the books you should be reading. This would have been on the list had I done it. This is the last issue of the miniseries, though, so should I recommend this instead? Should I actually do a review of the entire series? I mean, this book was a lot of fun. It really is. And I'm talking about issue number 5. This is the finale. This is the big battle. You have, Macrothax or Thorax or whatever his name is. And he's taken the Pym particles, made himself huge, made all of his bugs huge, and he's ready to go take off and destroy the world. Because that's what villains do. And it plays itself over the top, and it works for this because this miniseries isn't to be taken seriously. You know, whether or not it's in continuity, does Marvel even have continuity these days? I don't know. But for what it is, for these 5 issues, 1 through 5, this is just a fun story. Now, does it have flaws? Absolutely. The biggest flaw to me is while Scott Lang, and I'm sure they took this off the movie, you can actually see the evolution, is kind of bumbling, and he's a jokester. Here they sort of make him the fool, and I'm not a big fan of that. You know, he does come off competent, he does end up beating the bad guy, but holy crap, does he need a lot of help from his daughter. And sure, put her in there, it's great, the daddy-daughter thing, I get it, it's cool. But don't make your main character a dumbass. And they didn't, but they came really close. Alrighty, gang, Devil's Highway issue number 2. So picked up the first issue. Once again, it was just a slow comic book day. I said, you know what, I like the look of that. Let me pick it up. And I did. I'm glad I did. It was a story about this girl, her father was killed at his diner, and she comes back into town. It's one of those, hey, there she is, and isn't she a tough girl? And I talked about this in one of my last reviews, where it's a trope. You know, the person comes back to town, and everybody's like, oh, you caused trouble last time. Here, make sure you don't do it this time. And she's going after this, she believes it's a truck stop killer. And this opening here kind of proves it is, as we see a truck stop hooker being dragged and murdered. And then it gets back to the regular scheduled story of this woman walking around town being Billy Badass, pushing people around to get the information she needs. And she does actually meet up with the friend of the hooker. I mean, even at that, if she's walking around, she sees someone, she says something. And I like those parts. What I don't like is there is no personality to this young lady. And granted, I'm still enjoying the series. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna recommend it. I'm recommending this issue as well, because overall, this is a good series. There's some mysticism going on with the snakes that are being left in the bodies and the tattoos that are being left on the bodies. I do like the story that's surrounding. The only big problem with this story is the main character. It's like I said with a Batgirl or Batwoman TV show. She's walking around going, I'm a tough girl. I don't need no man. I'm a tough girl. And that's every line of dialogue for this character. The story surrounding her, absolutely fine. I want to see how this plays out. They need to give this person layers. That's it. I mean, because she is a one-note character. It's like a third-wave feminist trying to write women. They can't do it. And I don't know if this person is like that, but it seems like they're so afraid to make a woman look weak, so they give her no personality, they give her no flaws. And that's what's going on here. Once again, story surrounding her, great. Her, not so much, but I still recommend the book. Flash number 759, and once again we're dealing with Reverse Flash, Eobard Thrawn, or whatever his name is. I should be able to say it right these days. Anyway, he's taken over the Flash's body, and he's going around to all of Flash's friends and Flash's hangouts and being the... It's an interesting little story because, yeah, we've kind of seen this thing before, but it's not what a book is about, it's how it's about it, and this is just, it's just fun, in all honesty, and they treat it like that. I do like the fact that the person who notices it is Bart, and it's because, well, the Flash isn't mean. That's what he says. He comes rushing in, starts beating up on Reverse Flash and Flash's body, saying, no, my uncle's not, or my grandfather's not mean. It's grandfather now. We do have this little interlude with Jesse Quick and Max Mercury, and I thought that was kind of cool because, hey, let's bring them back. It's almost like occasionally they revisit mistakes that were made by starting Flashpoint, which I think the whole thing was, hello, Bird, I'm so glad you're now talking to me. Yeah, it just seems like occasionally they visit things that were mistakes in the past, and I like seeing these characters. Overall, The Flash has been a great series. This is no exception. It's an enjoyable and entertaining book. And yeah, I could recommend this. Recommend it quite easily, as a matter of fact. And as usual, at the end here, I like to line them up from best to worst. And I gotta tell you, the Ant-Man, I enjoyed this one a lot more. Well, I can't say a lot more, but I did enjoy it better than the others. Flash comes in second. It's a really good story. It's a lot of fun. Have seen it before. Have seen it done before, but like I said, it isn't what it's about, it's how it's about it, and that falls for Devil's Highway as well. Great story, horrible leading character, but damn, it really is a good story. And if, I swear to gosh, Eric Breen said this, and I'm going to repeat it, next time I just think I'll burn the $6 rather than get something like this. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you like this video, click on one of the ones that are popping up around you here. And don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, ring that notification bell. You've heard it all before. If you don't mind, go on over to Patreon or to Ko-Fi. This is the way we're trying to make a living. You drop $1 in the till, helps keep the lights on at the house, and helps keep making videos for you. Like, thank everybody who's already done that. And to all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.